Hello guys, Robot1 here, and today I am doing a top 5 video for you guys. Now, I haven't done a top cut video, top 5 video, top 10 video for quite a while now, and I've just felt like now is the perfect time to do one, because I felt like, why not? Like, seriously, there's so much stuff I could talk about right now on the top 5s, and there's a great perfect opportunity, which is what we're talking about today, which is the top 5 decks that I think will be the best at the beginning of the Link era. So basically in August or January, or August or July, whenever that decides to start. So, without further ado, let's just I'm just going to give you a big thing right now. Most of these are obviously based around boss monsters, because of boss monsters is the format we'll probably be going into soon. So just to let you know, that is why most of the decks are here, because they revolve around big boss monsters that are very good. So without further ado, let's get into this with number 5. So for number 5, I felt like it was a deck that, because of its new support, it's very good, and it's just very interesting in general. Now, I hate to actually put it here on this list, because I personally hate this deck with a passion, and this deck is Dark Worlds. Now, why is Dark Worlds number 5? Well, Dark Worlds may have been power creeped to a very huge degree, but they still have very big boss monsters, such as Silver, Graf, no, that's Burning Abyss, Grapha, Gold, and even that new one, which I can't remember its name, but it's basically the same as Silver and Gold, where you discard and special summon it. And it also has a lot of speed, and it can really deal with a lot of decks. Because when you think about it, it has tons of draw cards in advantage, and it has a lot of other things going for it. And just knowing that really does make me think that it is one of the best decks, purely because, well, one of the top 5 best decks in the Link format. Purely because its boss monsters are amazing. It can special summon so fast, and it's obviously not as fast as this format right now, but with the format we're going into, Dark Worlds are going to have a lot of power and just a lot of advantage, purely because of discarding cards to gain effects. It's what Dark Worlds love to do, and with stuff like Dark World Dealings, and even Card of Demise, being able to special summon multiple monsters at the end of your turn if you keep the Dark Worlds in hand, I believe that works. You're going to be able to gain tons of effects from it with that as well. So you're going to be gaining lots of advantage just from discarding cards, just from special summoning cards. And also the new support they're getting is pretty good, where you can just make a forced activation of a card to discard a card from your opponent's hand, which is what Dark Worlds love to do. So yeah, guys, I truly do think number 5 goes to Dark Worlds, just because the speed it has is pretty fast in the Link era, and its boss monsters are great, and that's what we're going into, a boss monster format. So yeah, number 5 goes to Dark Worlds. Let's go on to number 4. So for number 4, we have a deck that I can't deny being on this list. This deck, when I first saw the Link format, I thought, this deck is going to be great again. It's going to be amazing. Why would you do this, Konami? And this deck is obviously a deck that is affected by Link format, but not so much because they can just go back to their old ways. And this deck is Murmurs. Now, yes, Murmurs. Murmurs are definitely in the top contenders for the Link format, just because of how fast they are. Much faster than Dark Worlds, I might add. Just from being able to spam the board with big water monsters and FTK or OTK, it's just amazing for the deck. Literally, you can do so much combos in one turn with just a Megalo and a Prince. Like, Prince is one of the main reasons why this deck is going to be one of the best decks in the format. So it's just going to go, Murmurs, as soon as Link format come out, they're going to go from tier 2 to tier 1 again. Literally, a lot of old decks are being resurfaced purely because of Link format, and Murmurs is definitely a deck that will be the top in the top 5 spots of the Link format. Like, not even funny, with stuff like Prince and with stuff like Prince being able to FTK, and with Megalo, and with still Instant Fusion is not a bad card in the deck as well. Just being able to summon Norlin into the extra monster zone, summon your Dragoons from the graveyard, and then overlay into that extra monster zone to make, say, a Dweller. That's still an capability to FTK. And sure, you've lost your Treat Toad combos, but you can just go back to the era before where you were just playing Turbo the Mermails and go for game. Like, and also Moon and Glacier is another amazing card in the deck, so when you think about it, there is just so much potential in the Link format for Mermails that it's like just nowhere near saying Mermails are going to be bad in this format. But yeah, guys, that's what I think is the 4th best deck. Let's go on to number 3. So for number 3, we have a deck that I believe, like, this is number 3 purely because I think it's going to be hit along the way to the Link format. Like, there's no way this deck will remain at full power all the way to the Link format. Like, there's just no way I can see it happening. And this deck is Zodiacs. Now, why is Zodiacs on this list? Well, even though they're an Xyz based deck, they're getting a support. There is an Earth Link monster that allows you that gives Zodiacs the ability to still be able to spam their double Xyz monsters with a Trident and a Daigusto Emerald. So, even though this format is going to be going towards something of the obscurity that we don't really want, Zodiacs will definitely be a good contender in this format because they are still able to make their Daigusto Emerald or Gaga Samurai turn 1, able to make their Trident as well turn 1, plus with cards like Leica that they'll have there, and they'll be able to special summon from the graveyard to make their Link 2 Earth monster, which allows them to XC summon have 2 extra zones in the main monster zone. Plus, they can easily get a triple Link monster on board, so it's going to be really good in that respect as well. So when you think about it, this deck will definitely have advantages to an amount where they will be considered one of the best decks. So I don't think it's any higher on this list purely because I believe it will be hit to a certain degree along the way. But when it comes out, it will definitely be still a great deck in the format, as long as stuff like Murmur and Barrage remain at 3. But yeah, that's Zodiacs at number 3. Remember, guys, this is my opinion. Don't hit me too hard because the Zodiacs are number 3. But yeah, that's number 3. Let's move on to number 2. So for number 2. Now, number 2 was a hard option because it was a fight between 1 and 2. Now, this deck is obviously a deck that should be on this list. I doubt it wouldn't be on this list, on anyone else's list. And this deck is Light Swans. Now, why is Light Swans on this list? Light Swans like to spam the board a lot. Why would they be on this list? Well, Light Swans have the potential to turbo Link monsters and turbo boss monsters. Because when you think about it, they have cards like JD and they have cards like Minerva. Now, Minerva is an extra monster, sure, but even though it's an extra monster, it can still be brought out really easy, and you only really need one extra monster. Plus, the deck is able to make cards like Omega very easy, which we currently don't have the ruling on Omega though. If you banish it, where does it return to? But with Omega, you will still be able to put it on the monster back, even if it goes. And with cards like Omega and Minerva, like hopefully Minerva will be reprinted by then, so everybody has access to it. So it will make the deck even better. But even though we don't have access to it yet, Minerva in that deck is going to be stupid. Like, it's just with JD and cards like Minerva in the deck is going to be really amazing. Plus, you're going to be able to play the 60 card variant with cards like Mowing the Lawn and all the other Lights ones, and you can even put the Shurinari Zombie engine in there with Unizombie and Sage, or Solitaire as it's called in the TCG. And with Mizuki's, you're able to just turbo out the Omega even faster, and also you're able to use cards like the Brilliant Engine, you're able to use cards like the Symphonic Engine, you're just able to turbo out things so fast in the deck, and with stuff like JD, the Brilliant Engine, Lawn Mowing, and Omega, Minerva, everything that the deck has, I can't see this not being on number 2 on the second of the list. Like, literally, Light Swans just have so much in this format. Plus, they're going to get this new support with stuff like Jane and Punishment Dragon. Obviously, I'm not going to use Jane. Oh, they also have Fairy Tail Snow, which allows you to banish to summon Punishment Dragon, which is even better. And Punishment Dragon has an amazing effect on its own right, being able to return all non-Lightsworn cards from the graveyard and banish zones back to the deck. So that's essentially reset the game if you for other cards than Lightsworns. Like, seriously, this deck is just literally going to have so much potential in the Link format that I cannot see it not being on a top contender. And you can also, and there's just so many engines you can mix in, such as the Perform Power engine as well, or the Perform Mage engine, with just Trick Clowns and Hat Trickers to speed up your deck even more. But yeah, like, Lightsworns at number 2 is a very valid spot for me. I kind of wanted it to put number 1, but I really couldn't, purely because the number 1 spot just has so much more advantage and so is so much better. But anyway, guys, let's move on to number 1, seeing as Lightsworns are just so good and definitely deserve this spot. So let's go to number 1. So, number 1, the number 1 best deck at the beginning of the Link format. What could that be? What could it do? What is it? It's Infernoids. Now, Infernoids definitely deserve the number 1 spot. Why do they deserve the number 1 spot, you may be thinking? They don't care about the extra deck. They have no interest in the extra deck, so Link Summoning is irrelevant. Plus, if they're playing a Link Summoning version of the deck, Link monsters have no levels. 0 levels. Meaning that their extra deck is just, meaning if you have a Link monster on board, you don't care. You literally give 0. Yes, I beeped. I got rid of my own voice for a second. But literally, you could just be like, oh, I'm gonna summon multiple Infernoids, make a Link monster, then bring those Infernoids back, which is just stupid in general. Plus, the deck can use more, sorry guys. Plus, the deck is Lawn Mowing. Lawn Mowing is an amazing card in that deck in general. Plus, you can use stuff like Left Arm Offering to search that Lawn Mowing to just get all your stuff very easily. Like, when you think about it, Lawn Mowing just makes the deck so broken, and 60 cards, because, like, I think the two most common decks will be 60 card decks, but even still, you'll still see decks like Zodiacs, Mermails, and Dark Worlds running around just because they're still going to be very good. And seeing Infernally, the 60 card Lawn Mowing deck that it is, it's going to be amazing, because of, when you think about it, they have Fairy Tail Snow. Fairy Tail Snow being milled off a Lawn Mowing, you're going to have, what, 3 summons with that snow on just on the top, just off the spot. And then you have stuff like Diviati, Anunku, big boss monsters that like to board wipe, plus have built-in negation. That's another reason why this deck is at number 1. The deck has built-in negation. Plus the deck has stuff like Void Feast, being able to summon double Jekatron, plus whatever the hell of a Sijet, I believe it's called, from the deck. That's 3 and 5 Infernoids out of your deck already. So it's just like, why wouldn't this deck be the best deck? It's so amazing, and it's just so good. And knowing this really does make me think that there's no other deck that's going to be able to beat this deck. It's got Deviati, nuke back row, negate monster effects. It's got Anunku, nuke monsters and negate spell effects, spell and trap effects. It's got Dekatron, that is every Infernoid in the deck. It's got Lawn Mowing, that can mill half your deck. It's got Fairy Tail Snow, that can special summon it and set your opponent's monsters. Like, there's no reason whatsoever for this deck not to be number 1 on this list. Seriously, the deck has just so much potential, so much advantage, and it's just going to be so good in the Link format. Like, not even funny. This deck is guaranteed. I assure you, this deck will be the best deck at the beginning of the Link format. Like, my mind has no other words for it. It's definitely going to be the best deck at the beginning of the Link format. But yeah, guys, that's my top 5. Tell me if you agree with me. Like, seriously, like, these decks are all decks that I believe are definitely going to be within the top 10 at least. Like, I could see Zodiacs, if they got hit amazingly, go off the list completely. But I definitely see Mermails, Dark World, Light Swans, Infernos, they will definitely stay on this list purely because of the advantage they can gain from their own effects and decks and archetypes. Like, seriously, these decks definitely deserve to be on this list, or at least in the top 10. But, guys, this is my opinion completely. Tell me what you think of this in the comment section below. Tell me if you think that these decks are in the right order. Tell me if you would order them differently. Tell me what your opinions are, because I do think your opinions are valid. But yeah, guys, tell me what everything you agree with. Tell me if you agree with me. Tell me if you disagree with me. Tell me if you think something should be in a different spot, or tell me if something else made your top 5. Tell me all of that in the comment section below. And as always, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe for more Yugioh videos. Press that notification button to be notified of my future videos. And I'll see you guys next time. RobberBat1, signing out. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video for more Yugioh videos. And check out the links in the description for the previous video, and the link to my Facebook page where you can see previous videos that I've posted there, and any other information that I may have posted there. I hope to see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.